guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So, a little bit of a Merry Christmas early for me. My in-laws sent us our money early this year because they send us money every year. It's just easier, more convenient, and because they live far out of town, they're several hours away. But so anyways, we just split the money, and my wife gets what she wants, I get what I want within that limitation. So today it was like, what's Kevin want to do? Stupid question to ask, right? Let's go to Music City. So we hopped in the car, took off, went to Music City, and I took a look at some more of these Outlaw pedals, and because they're affordable. This one was 60 bucks. I think I paid about 50 bucks for the Dead Man's Hand, and they've got a Hangman pedal that I'm going to be picking up as well when I get some more money. But I really like these pedals. They're functional, they're durable, they're made out of, the casings are made out of all metal, they got a really good heavy duty stomper switch on them, but the big thing here is affordability, I don't have money to start spending out on brand new Boss Roland pedals right now, but in future, yes, right now, this does the trick and gets me extra effects that I wouldn't normally have access to, because as a lot of you know, I'm putting my own music into my RC videos, and I'm also, I'm teaching guitar, and I'm now doing the whole piano thing, and learn as I learn deal, and these pedals can also be used on keyboards too, right? So bonuses everywhere. I was talking to one of the guys. We're sub to each other's channel, and he has two channels actually. One of them is RCFP Vids, so if you're into RC, check out RC FPV Vids, that's him. And he's got a second channel called The Phantom's Guest, where he does all his music stuff on. And he does some really awesome stuff. And one of the things he suggested to me was, pick up a digital delay. You're going to need one, and it's one of the best pedals you can have in your collection. But I had to settle for analog today, and that's fine. It works really well against the other pedals, because I got a chance to try it against a Widowmaker, which is basically the same thing as the Medley Stick distortion pedal I have, this black one. So I really didn't need the Widowmaker, and I wasn't after a crunchy pedal. I wanted something mellowed out. So my choices were really boiled down to an analog chorus, because I really like analog chorus. I love my multi-chorus pedal, don't get me wrong, it's digital, but I like to have an analog chorus. But it's like, well, right now I got the chorus. So, and I got the Dead Man's Hand, and it's an overdrive, and I still want the Hangman, but I want to try out this delay pedal. And last time I tried it, I didn't put it against the other pedals. So I thought, well, let's put it up against the other pedals and see what it really can pull off. And so the guy gave me a rack of 5 pedals to mess around with, and I thought, cool, I'm going to have some fun, let's crank her up. So we plugged them into a Fender tube amp, and nice amp too. I'm not really a tube fan, I mean that's old school stuff, but still very nice clean amp. And so I started to play with the pedal a bit just by itself and thought, this is pretty tunable. It's very sensitive controls, which is nice. I like sensitivity. The more sensitive, the better. And, to me anyways. And then I started to put it up against the Hangman pedal, the little overdrive thing. Then I put it up against the Widowmaker. And then I added in the chorus pedal, and I thought, light bulb, this is going to be cool, because I've got the multi-chorus, right? And the sounds that you can get out of this thing are pretty cool, and you can pretty much eliminate the whole delay factor and just have like an echo sound going on, kind of like a reverb effect, which is nice, but I'd rather still have a real reverb pedal, okay, and that's down the road. Yeah, you can't have too many pedals, man, you just can't. But getting the right sequence is very important, and the sequence that you see right now, I really didn't mess around too much. I just figured, Dead Man, a little overdrive, a little bit of delay, then the multi, then the metal pedal if I need it, and then we'll sweep in that phaser, right? And the phaser pedal, like I've said before, this thing is junk by itself, but it does come to life when you mix it in with overdrive or metal pedals, so that's cool. So it gets to hang around for a little longer. because I'm going to replace that phaser pedal with a Boss rolling phaser down the road. So anyway, it's the same deal as the other stompers. They don't come with power supplies, although they should. But I did go to Value Village and got a $2 power supply, cut the cable off because the power supply was pooched, and then tied one of the cables into one of my other power packs here, because these things chew up virtually no milliamps, you know, like under 50 milliamp draw. So into a 500, that's peanuts. And right now I've already patched into the 500 once, but I haven't patched into any of the 300s. So I patched into one of my 3s, and so I'm now split off with 2 pedals on one of my 3s. Works for me, I don't care. And it's a good cheap solution right now until I can afford the 10-port brick I want. You know, that's down the road. So I'm doing things as I can. But the delay was a necessity, because the analog course, I still need it and want it, but I can do without it for now. So let's fire this thing up for you. I've got some settings that I chose that I think sound alright. Just the quick draw. Like, here's my clean channel. Okay, just the quick draw. So let's throw the dead man's hand in. One really nice thing I find with the delay pedal, if you mess up on something, it kind of hides it, because you can recorrect and zap in that correction before the lousy one gets a chance to hit, you know. So I found that was kind of a nice little bonus there, you know, because even playing this, I'm still learning a lot of that stuff. So it's kind of nice when you can kind of sneak it in and hide it a little bit. But anyways, the large knob controls the timing. So we'll just turn this knob down. So that's kind of like a little bit of a reverb almost. Just zip that up all the way to the top. Sounds pretty cool when you put it up against another pedal. That's just a mild overdrive. Let's kick this metally stick in. So it's a little bit of fun. I got a lot of tuning to figure out. And I may have to change my pedal order yet, but so far this is kind of, it's working for now. And, I just, set it up. I spent like about an hour or so with this pedal tonight when I got it home. And I spent, I guess, about half hour or so in Music City, just messing with it and seeing what I could, tune it in with. And I really like it. Last time I hemmed and hawed and I wasn't really sure, because I knew I should be going after that digital delay. But I can't afford the digital one right now, but this one works great. And I don't care about color or anything, but, I have the same crap I do with any of these Stomper style pedals. Because they can't use a 9-volt battery inside to power them, you have to have a power supply, and that's a huge thing that, it's more money, right? So you go from 60 bucks to about 90, well, geez, for a couple of bucks more, just go buy a Boss pedal and throw a battery in it, if you have the extra or whatever. But, I mean, a lot of people, they've got the money to go, putting out on power supply after power supply or whatever, you got bricks, whatever. Right now for me, I can afford the pedals here and there, but I cheap out and I go to places like Value Village. I buy a power supply, see it on the wall. Even if it's a 20-volt power supply, I don't care. If it's got the right plug on it, I can patch it into one of my other power supplies because I have 3, and between the 3 of them, I've got about 1100 milliamps worth of power, which is more than enough to run an easy 15 pedals, because these things chew up virtually nothing for milliamps of power. I think this one actually says it here. 42 milliamps. That's it. Under 50 milliamps. And my other one is going to be around that same range, the Dead Man's Hand, and same with my medley stick. So between the 3 of them, they're not even drawing 150 amps. So that's like half of a 300 milliamp 9-volt power supply. You can, chew up 6 pedals into that, and for what? It cost me $2, not $20 or $30, right? I just gotta, connect in some cables, and I've actually got this other cable here. It's a 12-volt cable that came with my power supply, and that I picked up tonight, and that's the right plug for it. So I just chop that, splice it in, away I go. Saves me some money, why not? And I get to power up my pedal. So anyway, overall, hey, not perfect. And of course, I'm going to always crab about these things for no power supply. I really can't crab too much about the pedal itself. The buttons are actually pretty good, like the knobs. They're decent quality. They're very smooth. They're not loosey-loosey, so they're not cheapies, They've got some good friction in them, which is nice, so it'll keep your settings well once they're set, as long as you don't be knocking them around. Stomper switches, they're good switches, they're really durable switches. And if you do break one, hey, they're really super cheap to replace. I found them online at a few places for like under $5 for a replacement Stomper switch. It takes like, maybe 15 minutes total to swap one out if you ever had to. But they are really durable switches, so that's good. Casings are made out of metal, all good stuff, It actually sounds good. It's very sensitive controls, which I like. That earned some really good brownie points. I played with the analog chorus that was there. Not as sensitive for controls, but it is an analog chorus, and there's a huge difference between an analog chorus and a digital chorus. And then of course you got your multi-chorus, like I have my Digitech one. And so I'm gonna get the analog chorus pedal too by Outlaw, because it was only around 50 bucks or 59 bucks. So great price. The prices on these are great. For under 70 bucks, you're getting a really nice pedal. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner, intermediate, or a professional player. Everybody some people have their brands. They'll only stick with one brand. I don't care about brand. Does it work? Does it function? Can I get cool sounds out of it? That's all that matters. And the fact that it's durable. So like I won't buy pedals, for example, that the cases are made out of plastic with a Stomper switch, or made out of plastic casings regardless, because they're just garbage. So I wouldn't even give you $5 for one of them. But I mean, back in the day, we used to build our own pedals, and we had plastic cases back then, and we had access to metal too, but the plastic were cheaper, and you know, we just had to put a different type of, like a lighter duty type stomper switch in, because otherwise, yeah, the plastic won't hold up for long. But these things, they're gonna hold up for a good long time, you know, and they seem to be really good as far as, just, there's so much compactness to them, but they're really well thought out. Like the layout inside these pedals is really well thought out. The connections are good and solid. They're not loose connections by any means. They're really tight connections, so when you put that jack plug in there, it's secure, you know. So they're not cheap by any means as far as, you know, what went into them for build quality. They did a great job. And you know, same with the EX pedal that I have. It's really well built too. And this delay pedal, like I said, very sensitive controls, which is what I like. I like to have that fine tuning range, you know, just to get that right little bit of sound in there. And that timing dial is so nice and precision. You know, it's just little teeny weeny bit of movement, and you can hear the difference, and that's awesome. Because the chorus pedal, like I said, I was looking at it, and it wasn't quite as sensitive, you know, but it's a chorus pedal, it's not a delay, right? But this delay pedal, I think, is going to work really well for what I need it for, and when I can afford the digital one, I'm going to go with the digital one, and I'll have both. It's just I'll use analog for analog stuff, digital for digital, and so on, right? If you're looking for a pedal, hey, these Outlaw pedals are good, the EX pedals are really good. You know, I have no qualms about the pedals themselves. And the only thing that's killing the ratings on these things a bit is, you know, they're not perfect. I can't give a 5-star rating, sorry. You know, well, not really, I'm not sorry. It's just life, nothing's perfect. And they don't come with power supplies, which I think they should. You know, even if they gave you a 50 milliamp power supply, just enough to run it good and strong, right? That would be worth a value of maybe $5 in the real world, okay? And they could throw that in with the pedal and even just include it, you know? But if they were going to give you like 100 or 200 milliamp, okay, charge me the extra $5. But $22 and $30 for power supplies is absolutely retarded. It's ridiculous. Those power supplies aren't even worth that much money. Maybe $10, but that's it, you know? But the thing is, you will have to buy a power supply. So if you are ordering stomper pedals like this online, they don't come with power supplies, you're going to have to buy one. And make sure you get one with the appropriate polarity, because before you even plug it in, make sure, because if you aren't quite sure, you order a power pack anyways, the polarity is backwards, you will fry the pedal. Okay, so check. And these Outlaw pedals, they come with an instruction sheet, so does the medley sticks. And the medley stick distortion pedal is actually listed on the back for its polarities, but they list it actually right here. They tell you that your negative is on the inside, your positive is on the outside. And that'll be for any of the Outlaw pedals. And the medley sticks have the same polarity, by the way. This Digitech pedal has the same polarity, and guess what? My Ibanez has the same polarity. So, you know, that's pretty good that those are all compatible that way, you know. I think the Boss Roland's, the polarity is the other way. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'd have to look. But regardless of the fact, you know, you will need a power supply. It must be 9 volts DC, okay? So AC-DC adapter, not AC-AC, AC/DC output. Has to be DC output, which is a direct current output. If you use an alternating current output power supply, you'll get all kinds of nasty noise and you can damage the pedal. So very important to make sure it's a AC adapter that has DC output, 9 volts, and preferably the right polarity. But if they don't, which if you're ordering off of a site that's selling pedals, they will have the right power supply, but if somehow you screw up and you get the wrong polarity, you just cut the wire, flip the 2 wires to the opposite sides, you know, solder them together, heat shrink tube them to protect the wires so they don't short, and you're in business that quick. And if you're making your own up like I do, well, it's the same business, and you need a multimeter so you know which tap is which for, you know, negative and positive. and that's an easy thing. I'll show you that in another video, actually, how to do that. I'll do one of those videos up in the next bit. But otherwise, yeah, great little pedal. I love it. Works well. A lot of fun. Gonna have even more fun once I figure out how to use it, you know, properly with the pedals, you know, and definitely recommend one. You know, analog, digital, don't matter. I definitely recommend it. It's a great little pedal to have to the collection. Gives you that much more functionality and different tones and different things you can get your guitar to sound like. So definitely a cool pedal there. Anyways, that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions, comments, hey, you know the drill. Feel free to ask, and I'll do the best I can to answer your questions. And but until then, hey, we'll catch you in the next video, okay? Take care.